Hello, learners. Welcome to the Study Addict Networking Group. I'm your host today on economics. My name is. Today we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, which I believe you will gain tremendously there. We want to look at the Nigerian economy and we'll be little to the history of Nigeria and comparing that history of Nigeria to the petroleum industry in Nigeria. So our topic today is the development of the petroleum industry in Nigeria. The development of the petroleum industry in Nigeria. We'll be looking at some subtopics under this broad topic because it is a very broad topic. We can't finish it on a video. So I'll be doing series of videos on this, on each of the subtopics under this topic. So we'll be looking at this history of oil exploration in Nigeria. So I'll be taking back how oil was discovered in Nigeria. Now, before we go into that, let me quickly tell you this, that before oil was discovered in Nigeria, Nigeria was known for agriculture. Agriculture was our mainstay, meaning agriculture was the one providing income for the nation Nigeria. We're getting a lot of money from agriculture, and that helped to develop the regions of Nigeria. The southern region of Nigeria was, the southern was known for palm oil, and that is what they produce and export. The western region of Nigeria was known for cocoa, and that's what they produce and export. While the northern region was known for granite. And if you have heard of the pyramid of granite, it was the northern part of the country in Nigeria that did that. And we generated a lot of money from which was used in developing Nigeria, of course, before Nigeria came into existence. But immediately we discovered oil. The agriculture sector was neglected. And the government policy and their decision making was on oil, and the agricultural industry was left behind. So what is oil? Another name for your crude oil is what we call the black gold. As you can see, the black gold. It is black in nature, and it got that name from, number one, it is black in nature, and number two, because of the commercial value of this product. As we all know that gold is a very expensive and which is also in high demand, and all over the world, of course, you cannot overemphasize the value of gold. And that is why during the industrial era, because we are in the fourth to the fifth era. We have the agrarian era, we have the industrial era, we have the technological era. Now we are in the innovative era now. We're in the innovative era now. So during the industrial era, crude oil played an important role. Oil played an important role. But before the discovery of this black gold, the oil of whale and of fat of animal was used as a form of a lubricant to power the industrial era, meaning the big generators and the production network. The oil gotten from whale, oil gotten from the fat of animals was used. But immediately discovered, the attention of the world changed to this black gold. It was changed to this black gold. Now I'll be laying more emphasis on Nigeria as a case study. Let's look at some of the facts we need to know about this country, Nigeria, that we're using as a case study. Nigeria presently is the largest oil and gas producer in Africa. Nigeria presently is the largest oil and gas producer in Africa. Not only that, ranked 11th largest oil producer in the world. So presently, Nigeria is the largest oil producer in Africa. Of course, we have some other African nations that produce oil. We have Nigeria, we have Algeria, even down to Ghana. A lot of them produce oil, but Nigeria is still the largest in Africa. While in the world, we are the 11th. We have countries like US that produce oil. We have Russia. We have China. Of course, we have Saudi Arabia. We have Venezuela. Those are ranked from 1 to 10, but Nigeria is 11th. Now, Nigeria is also part of the Opec Nations, OPEC organization. That is the Petroleum organization, a form of cartel that came together to be like a monopoly, a force to be reckoned with in the production of oil in the world. I'll be talking about OPEC later. So how is this oil gotten? How is this oil gotten? As you can see from the picture there, that's the oil ring there on the top of the topmost soil. Now, through the help of science and technology, the earth can be drilled. You can see the earth crust there. It can be drilled down to about the 4th to 5th layer. And then after the earth crust, we have a form of oil there, which was discovered in US about 3 years ago. America discovered that oil, and they have it in commercial quantity there. Talking about the shale, they have it in commercial quantity in America. Of course, we can't overemphasize the importance of this nature of oil, and it has really helped to make America again powerful in the oil industry, and they are able to compete well with the OPEC nation because of the discovery of this oil in commercial quantity in America. Talking about the shale. So petroleum itself is gotten from about the fourth layer before natural gas. Of course, natural gas and petroleum can be gotten together. Even from your refining of your petroleum, you can get natural gas. So let's go into the history of oil exploration in Nigeria. Now, oil exploration in Nigeria started way back in 1903 by the Nigerian Bitumen Corporation. They started the exploration of oil in Nigeria, but their activities was cut short by the first outbreak of the First World War in 1940. That led to the stopping of the oil exploration in Nigeria. And their operation stopped because of a lack of technology and lack of finance. So take note that the activities of the Nigerian Bitumen Corporation was stopped, as I've said earlier, by the First World War in 1914. And this action stopped technology from coming into Nigeria, and also stopped finance from coming into Nigeria. So after this, another company came on board, which was Shell and British company. Shell and British Petroleum Company came on board in 1937. They came aboard in 1937 to also embark now in the area of Niger Delta region of Nigeria, and a lot of money was spent. Of course, then even the Niger Deltas thought it was palm oil they were looking for. They thought the British were looking for palm oil, but their effort paid off in 1956 when this oil was discovered in a place in Bayelsa called Oloibiri. Oil was discovered by Shell British Petroleum in a place called Oloibiri. Of course, they've been discovering oil, but this was the first place they discovered oil in commercial quantity that they can export and make a lot of money from. The other oil well they were discovering before 1956 was shallow oil well, which got dried up as they were exploring. But this oil were discovered in Bayelsa State in Olebiri was the first uh, commercial quantity of oil they discovered in 1956. And that was the beginning of oil exploration in Nigeria. Other oil wells were discovered. Other oil wells were discovered in the Ogoni territory. We have the Afam oil well that was discovered, and we have the Bomu oil well that was discovered. Now, this led to a lot of activities in Nigeria, because not only Britain now that were involved, other developed nations of the world were also coming to Nigeria to exploit oil, because Nigeria now was seen as a place where they can get oil in commercial quantities. A lot of the eight sisters were coming to Nigeria to get oil. And the production of crude oil, of course, after the discovery of oil in 1956, the production of crude oil started in 1957, down to when Nigeria gained independence. Now, as at then, we were exporting 847 tons of crude oil. That's what we're exporting, because then we've not built our refineries. So what we're doing then was to export this crude oil and then import the finished product, which is petroleum. And that's what we're doing then. So this led to a lot of activities, not only by Shell Petroleum Company, but by other petroleum company. Of course, at then, it's not only that I have oil, which I've said earlier. Other nations of the world have oil, and we can categorize them into two separate. We have the OPEC nations, and we have the non-OPEC nations. The OPEC nations and the non-OPEC nations. Now, as you can see from the chart in the table, we have Saudi Arabia. Now, in percentage, as you can see there, those are their quotas, their percentage in the number of oil they have compared to the world supply of oil. That's their contributions to the world supply of oil. So Saudi Arabia is contributing about 17%. We have United Arab Emirates contributing about 6%. We have Iran, we have Kuwait, we have Iraq, we have Venezuela. Now, talking about these 5 nations, looking at Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Venezuela, and Kuwait, these are the founding member of OPEC. They are the founding member of OPEC. Of course, we have non-OPEC nations as well that are on this map, talking about Canada. Canada is contributing about 6%. We have Russia. Russia is contributing about 13%. These are non-OPEC, it's a non-OPEC nation. Netherlands there is a non-OPEC nation. So all these nations of the world have oil. But as I've said, we can categorize them under 2 sub-headings. Either you belong to the OPEC nation or you're not part of the OPEC nation. So take note of this. Majority of the countries under the OPEC nation are more of the Arabian nation and Africa. More of the Arabian nation and Africa. And they have one thing in common. A lot of them are developing. They are either under the middle income country or low income country, even with the level of oil they have. And that is another topic entirely. That's another interesting topic entirely. Even with the level of oil that these OPEC nations have, majority of them are either classified under middle income country or low income country. As you can see, our case study, Nigeria. Nigeria is just contributing 5%. 5% what Nigeria is contributing. Of course, we have Egypt, we have Libya, we have Algeria, we have Angola. All these are African nations. So that will take us to a map of Nigeria and showing where we have the highest concentration of crude oil. You agree with me that the highest concentration of crude oil in Nigeria is in the south-south. In the south-south. As you can see, that the south-south nation are blessed with this raw material called crude called crude oil. And all those towers you can see there are the oil well. Presently, Nigeria have different types of crude oil, about four in number, and these are the crude oil. We'll talk about them later. We have the Forcado terminal, we have the Brass River terminal, we have the Bonny terminal, and we have the Quibo terminal. All these are the terminals where we have different crude oil that Nigeria exploit and export to other nations of the world. So take note that the south-south region of the country have a lot of crude oil, and that's side of the nation has also gone through a lot of devastation, talking about negative externalities, talking about issue of oil spillage, destroying their means of livelihood, no development in that particular areas. And I will not deceive you that those particular areas are really suffering from the negative externalities of the activities of the Eight Sisters, which we will be looking at later under some subtopics. So, altogether, even onshore and we have oil in Nigeria. Meaning talking about on land and in the sea, down to the Gulf of Guinea, down to the Atlantic Ocean. Nigeria have oil well. We have oil well there. We have oil ring there where oil is being exploited. So you agree with me that Nigeria is a blessed nation with a lot of mineral resources, crude oil being one of the mineral resources presently that we've discovered and that we are using to finance the economy of the country. Of course, there are other mineral resources that we have in Nigeria which we've not really looked into. Nigeria is also blessed with limestone. Yes, we're a country that is blessed with limestone. Limestone is the raw materials used to mix cement, which Dangote is using. We're also blessed with that. Not only that, bitumen. Ondo State is blessed with bitumen. So Nigeria have a lot of mineral resources that were not really looked into. But presently, our focus, or the focus of the government of Nigeria, is on petroleum because of the commercial value of petroleum now, and it is in high demand. So Nigeria have oil on land and in the sea, as you can see from the map that you are looking on the screen. So I'll tell you that Nigeria have over 1.9, presently, give or take, we have about 159 oil fields in Nigeria. Oil field is a field where oil wells are discovered. Oil field is a field where oil wells are discovered. So presently we have about 159 oil fields. Now, before you can exploit oil in Nigeria, you have to get license from the Nigerian government through the NNPC. NNPC is charged with that responsibility of giving license to any individual or corporation that want to come into Nigeria to exploit oil. And there's a department there, which is Department of Petroleum Resources under NNPC, which is charged with this responsibility. So presently, Nigeria have 1,481 oil wells in operation. And about 78 of these oil wells are found in the south-south region of Nigeria, meaning the Niger Delta region of Nigeria. So that will tell you that the Niger Delta region of Nigeria is very active when it comes to oil exploration in Nigeria. I said earlier that we have different oils in Nigeria. So this oil field you are seeing, going back to this oil field you are seeing, they are about 1,481 in number. These oil wells you are seeing scattered around south-south, even down to the southwest, Lagos inclusive, down to Ondo, down to Benin, down to Warri, Onitsha, so Port Harcourt, all these areas, even down to the Atlantic Ocean, there are oils there. So altogether, when you add them together, We have about 1,481 oil wells there. So these oil wells produce about five different crude oils, about five different crude oils that are produced by these oil wells. So the first on the list is the Bonu crude oil, which is on high demand in Nigeria because of the high quality of this crude oil. If you remember then, some years ago, before the discovery of Charlotte in US, which I discussed earlier, America was one of our highest buyer of crude oil in Nigeria because of the high grade of our crude oil, that is the Bonu crude oil. It is low in sulfur content, so you don't need to refine and refine to remove the sulfur content. Once you have refined, an average refine is okay, and that will go a long way to reduce your cost of production. So because of the low content, sulfur content in this crude oil, it's met up with the world standard, and that is why it's on high demand. That's the Bono crude oil. We have the light crude oil, which we produce here in Nigeria as well. We have the Quibo crude oil. We have River crude oil. We have the Forcado crude oil. All these have their own terminals in the south country of the south region of Nigeria, as you can see on the map. So, going back quickly, I told you that oil was discovered in commercial quantity in Olebiri, Bayelsa State, in 1956. Oil was discovered down to 1957. We started oil production in Nigeria. We started oil production in Nigeria in 1957, down to 1960. And some of these eight sisters came on board to help in the oil exploration. But then, as I've said, we don't have a refinery, so what we're doing then is to export this crude oil and import the finished product. So by 1960, when Nigeria gained independence, the volume of our crude oil has increased from 800,000 to 6 million barrel per day, from 800,000 to 6 million barrel per day. That shows that in the space of 3 to 4 years, a lot of activities were involved in discovering more oil wells in the south region of Nigeria. So by 1961, other companies came on board. Other part of the seven to eight sisters came on board, talking about Mobil, talking about Gulf, Texaco. They came on board to join the search of oil, both on onshore and offshore areas of Nigeria. Now, the first offshore oil discovery, that is on the sea, was discovered by Gulf Company in 1964. It was discovered by the Gulf Company in 1964, as you can see on the slide there. So, not only that, after discovering of oil, by 1965, of course, the production capacity of Nigeria increased to 100 million barrels per day. So, how the production of oil in Nigeria has been on the rise, from 1956 when oil was discovered, down to when oil production started in 1957, down to 1960. So as at 1965, the crude oil production has increased to 100 million barrels per day. So this, what I'm about to show you now is a ring, an offshore ring, which is used to explore oil on the high seas. So Nigeria have a lot of these, where anywhere you see oil you discovered on the high seas, this oil ring will be established there to exploit oil and then ship them out to neighboring countries. So I wanted to do this assignment, the impact of the Seven Sisters on the oil well. Some suggest they are 8 in number, while some say they are 7 in number. These are the oil firms from the developed nations of the world going to countries that have oil and helping them because they have the technology now, and these countries of the world don't have the technology. These Seven Sisters have the technology, so they go to the less developed nations of the world that have this technology and help them to exploit oil. So it is believed that the Seven Sisters have really caused a lot of havoc on the oil industry, not only in Nigeria, but in the world. So it's an assignment for you. I want you to find out the impact of this Seven Sisters on the oil industry in the world. The activities of the civil war in Nigeria between 1967 and 1970 slowed down oil production. But after the end of this civil war, oil production increased from 100 million per barrel to 179 million per barrel. So since 1976 to date, oil has been the major source of government revenue for our government, and agriculture has been left behind. So I want to also to try this as classwork, which you sent to me. You have to briefly explain the history of oil in Nigeria, the history of oil in Nigeria. So going back to refineries now. Now take note that the oil production is always on the rise, crude oil production. So I told you that by 1970, the crude oil production in Nigeria has increased to 197,000. Now that called for attention. In 1965, because of high demand of petroleum products in Nigeria, remember then we've gained our independence and then Nigeria has become a republic in 1963. So activities in Nigeria have started increasing. So there's need for more importation of a petroleum product. We're exporting crude oil and we're importing petroleum product. So the government of the country then came together and built the first refinery. The first refinery was built in 1965. Was built and commissioned in 1965 in Port Harcourt, that was the South region, and it has the capacity to produce 660,000 barrels of oil per day. That's the BPD you're seeing there, barrel per day. So this refinery has the capacity to produce oil, to produce 60,000 liters or 60,000 barrels of oil per day. Now, in 1978, the second refinery was built and commissioned in Warri, still in the South region, and it was built because of increase in local demand of petroleum product. Now, this refinery has the capacity to produce 100,000 barrels per day. It has the capacity to produce 100,000 per day. That's the capacity. Now, this is how this crude oil is being refined. As you see in the picture I'm about to show you, this is how it's being refined. So, depending on the level of heat applied, crude oil itself is second to the last byproduct you get. But once you start refining, these are some of the items you get first. So when we started exporting this crude oil out to nations, we were exporting oil to. That's what we're giving out. So we have aviation. We have aviation fuel, we have fuel for your car, we have jet fuel, we have oil, we have diesel oil, we have lubricants, and so on and so forth. So crude oil itself is the second to the last item you will you will get. So that's why the establishment of this refinery is a right step taken by the government. We can't just keeping on exporting our crude oil and giving these nations of developed nations of the world all these byproducts. And at the end, we will now import um, petroleum in large quantity. In large quantity, it does not make sense. It does not make sense. So take note that crude oil will be inputted there, as you can see, and one is being inputted at every level of each applied different byproduct down to the last one when you have your bitumen used to do your roads. That's what you used to do, your byproduct, which is needed for the petroleum industry. And because of this, a lot of other companies or other firms or other industry begin to spring up because we started refining this petroleum product ourselves in Nigeria. So the third refinery was built in 1980. That was built in Kaduna, the northern part of capacity to also refine 100,000 barrels per day. And the fourth one was built in Port Harcourt, which has a higher capacity of crude oil per day. Now, presently, it is believed that oil itself is fixed in nature, like any other mineral resources you have. So different countries of the world have their own different oil reserves. So for Nigeria, as at 2019, it is estimated that the oil reserve in Nigeria is about 36.97 billion cubic meters, which it is believed will last us for the next 50 years. It is believed that this will last us for the next 50 years. Of course, intensive research has been going on in the northern part of the country to see if oil will be discovered. I heard some years ago that oil was discovered in Lake Chad region. We don't know how far exploration have gone there, but it is believed that the rate we are exploiting oil in Nigeria and with the level of oil reserve we have, that if we don't find alternative to oil, the oil city in Nigeria will finish by the next 50 years. Of course, we have some other nations of the world that are doing fine when it comes to crude oil reserve. Saudi Arabia is one of the largest in the world of crude oil reserve. And I believe that of Saudi Arabia can last them for the next 100 to 200 years. And that's why nations of the world are trying to find alternatives to crude oil. I mean, talking about, remember that your crude oil is part of the non-renewable energy source. We have about 3 of them. We have your crude oil, we have your coal, and then I believe your gas is part of your non-renewable energy source. Once you use them, they are off. And that is why they are fixed in deposit. They are fixed in deposit because it takes millions of years for this to form, for this crude oil to be formed based on the composition of organic materials by the seashore. So that's why you see nations of the world are spending a huge amount of money to find alternative to this energy source, which we are calling the renewable energy source, talking about the wind energy, solar energy, our hydro dam energy source, and all other the by energy source. So we have a lot of them. A lot of countries are doing a lot of research on that to find alternative to crude oil. Because if by this calculation, that if oil finished in the next 50 years in Nigeria, then what will be our source of revenue as a country? Because we depend on oil solely. A majority of our foreign exchange is gotten from oil solely. And that is why the present administration, talking about President Buhari, is investing more with the help of CBN in agriculture. A lot of loans have been issued out to help both the small farmers and the big farmers, and those individuals that want to go into agriculture, but either livestock, um, either cash crop or food crop, any part of agriculture you want to go into. The government of Nigeria now is pumping money into that. They are also looking at other ways to raise money. I mean, talking about other areas where money can be gotten. Talking about the mineral resources now, apart from crude oil. As I've said earlier, we have other mineral resources in Nigeria that we have not been looking into. So it's believed that it's high time we look into those um, raw materials. High time we look into those areas where we can get more money from. And I believe by doing so, Nigeria will be able to get more money to finance their economy. So, we will be looking at the impact of petroleum on the Nigerian economy. We'll be looking at both the positive impact and the negative impact of petroleum on the Nigerian economy. So, till then, thank you very much.